Hey friends, it's Julia Bailey with Life Fitness Coaching, and this is day 3 of my series on goal setting tips for the new year. Um, so I've already talked about making sure your goals are actionable and that they are not in the form of something you're not going to do, but rather what the alternative is, what you want to do. That you look at balance in many categories of life and not just focusing on one category that may or may not be going super great. And so today I want to just remind you that goals are helpful really to set a direction, to be intentional about how you spend your time and that you're working towards fostering the things that are important to you. And today's tip is about creating goals that are challenging but not overwhelming. And so it's really common. A lot of people, in fact, I think most people who set goals are going to be on the side of taking on too much at once and then becoming overwhelmed, rather than looking at the very next step and what that small step forward is that can help create some momentum. And so this is specific to, you're going to know what's best for you, or if you are setting goals regularly and achieving them, this is a muscle that you've exercised and you do well. Maybe, you know right where that growth edge is and can stretch a little more. And what I mean by growth edge is that line of where your comfort line is, and then knowing what is just beyond that. What would be a step towards growth for you? And so, when you're setting goals, you want them to be doable and somewhat challenging without being overwhelming. And so one of the ways I look at this is like, what are you doing right now that is working towards a vision, or towards honoring what's important to you? And then what is the smallest next step that you can do? And this might be, creating a few next steps or looking at just the very next step. And one of the things that can be really helpful is a concept of tiny habits. And this is geared towards creating the muscle memory, creating the muscles that help you prepare to do the action. So for example, if your goal is to go to the gym 3 times a week, then the tiny habit might be getting in the car to go to the gym. It's a very small step to get you there, and in the meantime, maybe you end up going to the gym and doing a full workout, or maybe you're just exercising those muscles that prepare you to get to the gym. So that's the concept of tiny habits, which I find super helpful and can really be applied to almost any habit that you want to create, or looking at creating progress towards a larger goal. What is the very next step? What is the tiniest thing I can do to get going, to create action, to create momentum? And then really looking at, a year is a big chunk of time. And so one thing that can be really helpful is setting that goal and imagining something that you can do in the first 12 weeks of the year and breaking it down that way. So yes, I want to make these changes for next year, and here are the changes I want to make in the next 12 weeks. It's a much smaller chunk of time. You can start smaller, and really starting small is a way that can help you have a chance for higher success. So that's today's tip. And if you have questions or want help figuring out what the tiny habit is for your larger goal, I'd be happy to work with you. You can reach out to me at lifeitins.com or here on Facebook, and I'll see you tomorrow.